Hello, everyone. I'm back with another crypto AI experiment, so stay tuned as we try a new way to set up TradeSanta and DeepSeek. If you missed the first experiment, where DeepSeek helped me set things up based on my market predictions, I'll drop the link in the description. All right, let's get into it. So this time, I decided to take a step further and gave DeepSeek complete freedom to choose the trading pair, strategy, and bot settings. I started with a clear prompt saying, pick the best trading pair and settings for a TradeSanta bot on your own. To get the best out of DeepSeek, I switched on Deep Think mode and enabled the search feature. Then, to make sure I got the accurate answer, I fed the AI a quick rundown of how TradeSanta works, like explaining DCA and grid strategies. And finally, I told it I was ready to invest $100 in this experiment. After a quick think, DeepSeek decided to go long on Sol USDT pair using a DCA strategy and gave me the full setup for my bot. Why did it decide to go long on Solana? First, its high liquidity and $1 billion trading volume at that time. Then, Solana's recent performance. And in the end, DeepSeek took into account analyst forecasts and its risk profile. Now that we know the strategy and the settings, it's time to set up our experimental bot. All right, just logged into TradeSanta. My account is already connected to OKX. Since I'm planning to go long on Solana, I'm selecting the Sol USDT pair to get started. Here, I'm setting the take profit target to 2.5%, and then enabling trailing take profit and setting it to 1.5%. The step of extra orders is set at 2% and limiting to 4. And my order size is $20. Here we've got the stop loss, and it should be at 8%. As for the entry signal, DeepSeek recommended using the RSI indicator. Well, looks like everything's in place. I'm hitting create, and our Solana bot is live and ready to roll. Okay, so the bot's been running for some time now. Let's check in and see how it's been performing. On the 18th of February, the bot entered the market, buying $20 worth of Solana when the price was around $170. But then, Sol's price went down, and the bot placed 2 extra orders. Next day, Solana started climbing and hit the take profit target, which activated the trailing take profit. As soon as it reached its maximum and dropped by 1.5%, the trailing take profit kicked in, and the bot closed the position at around $171. Now let's take a quick look at the numbers. In one day, the bot executed 3 orders for about 0.358 Sol, which cost me $60. When it sold that amount, Solana was trading at 171.29, and I got back $61.32. That's a profit of $1.32 in a day, which is 2.2%. Well, I couldn't help but ask DeepSeek, and was that really a good trade? And it wasn't. DeepSeek revised the strategy and suggested increasing some of the bot's parameters. It answered that the take profit level should have been around 5 to 7%, with a 3% trailing take profit. So I ran a backtest with these settings, and in the end, the same amount of Solana would have been bought with the same $60 investment. But since the take profit was set higher, the bot would have had to wait longer to hit its target. So over those 3 days, the profit would have been about $2.29. That means on a $60 investment, you'd have a 3-day return of roughly 3.8%, which works out to a daily return of about 1.27%. Ironically, this improved setup from DeepSeek ended up performing worse than the original. So, what's the main takeaway from this experiment? DeepSeek missed some important market moves, like recent Libra scandal or Solana's upcoming token unlock. And it turned out later that its search feature was down and it was running on old info. In this case, DeepSeek didn't mess up because of bad strategy, it just had old info. That's why it's still super important to have a human keeping an eye on AI trading. That's it for the second experiment. Stay tuned as more videos are coming soon. Hit like and subscribe.